I hate courses because a lot of it seem disingenuous. Like people are just making the course to make money. I'm making the course to help people grow into what I'm growing into.
Welcome to the Spiro Podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. With your hosts, Todd Kivimaki and Craig Magrum.
Welcome to the Spiro Podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. Spiro is a software platform designed to help you grow, manage, and scale up your real estate photography business, and to really just provide a platform for everything from creating a custom ordering portal for your realtor clients to upselling them with other products and services that you offer, to delivering it with custom portals and offering custom marketing tiles as well. It's really kind of a full-featured platform to help you grow and manage your business. I'm Craig Magrum. I'm the Spiro Business Development and Client Care Specialist and also the host of the Spiro Podcast. And along with me, the guy that I can't do it without, our Spiro founder, owner, and co-host of the podcast, Todd Kivimaki.
Hi, Craig. Hey, good to see you this week. Thank you all for tuning in. And if it's your first time, welcome. We appreciate you coming in here and giving us a shot. Maybe you're in between appointments today, and hopefully you can pull a couple of little nuggets. Excited about our speaker today and our guest. If you're returning for a second time, thank you for coming back. As always, we want to make this your podcast, and let us know what questions you have. Maybe now as the seasons start to change, it's back to school, you go into a business building stage and you're working on your business. Let us know what you're working on. Let us know what you need help with. And as always, if you could subscribe to the channel, it will help us. It will let you know as soon as we have new podcasts out. Just click the subscribe button to be notified of all future podcasts.
Yeah, so November 9th and 10th are coming up really, really quick, Todd. And there's something special coming up that month.
Yes, there is. We are excited about it. This will be actually our first time attending, but it is the largest conference in real estate media, PMRE Conference. This year it's in Las Vegas, and they are hosting some workshops. We'll find out about those with Dominic today, but they're hosting some workshops prior to the 9th and 10th. And then the 9th and 10th is a 2-day seminar, and they're focusing on also the business of real estate media.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time to network and just really get some good education poured into us to help us grow and scale our business up even further. And I think you just mentioned it, Todd. They're going to be focusing more, from what I've heard through various channels, they're going to be focusing more this year on the business side of what we do. Not neglecting the creative side by any means, but really kind of honing in on the business of running your business, which is obviously what this podcast is all about. And you teased it. We've got a special guest joining us on the podcast this week, who's going to be one of the panelists sharing his knowledge and experience, and that's Dominic Wilkerson. Dominic, thanks for joining us on the podcast this week.
Oh, thank you guys for having me.
Exciting to be here with you today, Dominic. Now, Dominic, can you just tell the group, many of our listeners may know you. You have quite a presence out there, and you're actually quite entertaining in your Instagram and Facebook videos. I enjoy watching those. But can you just give us a little background about you?
Yeah, so I'm Dominic Wilkerson. I'm up here in the Pacific Northwest, Gig Harbor, Washington. No one really knows where Gig Harbor, Washington is. Tacoma, Washington. It's a little bit south of Seattle. All of Washington State is all Seattle unless it's apple fields. So I've been doing this for about 5.5 years now, or 5 years, 4.5. I can't really tell, since 2018. And rewind a little bit. I used to be in the Air Force, and I decided, hey, I can't have a boss anymore. I just can't do this anymore. No, thank you. You're not gonna yell at me. So I decided to finally open up my real estate photography business, and it was out of sheer boredom I found someone hiring for one. So I started out as capturing my time in the military with like a little Nikon cool pics, right? And I was big into the car scene, and I was going to car shows, going to SEMA and stuff like that. So I was perfecting, I wouldn't even say perfecting, but practicing my photography skill back then, capturing that. I fast forward, I was shooting for online magazines, international magazines, covering Formula Drift and everything with my Nikon D750. You couldn't tell me that was a horrible camera. That was the most amazing camera in the world. But I wasn't making money. They were barely paying me $20 an article, $100 for a full day article, event coverage. And I was just like, I can't do this, which pushed me into some pretty bad financial situations. So I was just like, you know what? I heard real estate photography is a way to make money. I don't feel like dealing with bridezillas or their moms. I will holler at their moms later on in life, but that's besides the point. So I went and tried to see if I could do real estate photography, and realizing that it's certain rules that you just got to follow. You can throw in a little bit of your own style, but it's more about the business than about the photography itself. And so I really like that. And I learned that I was doing sales and marketing before this for a detail shop to where I had to sell to used car sales managers. And I don't think you understand how difficult that is. like it was horrendous, but I got really good and I picked up several clients that way.
Wow.
So now working with real estate agents, dear God, it's heaven sent. Even though you got your special agents sometimes. But you know what I do with those? I refer out. Yep. But yeah, so that's how I did it. That's how I got into real estate photography.
You've got to be the king of sales, Dominic, if you were selling to used car salesmen.
The big thing is that we had a product that they needed, and we can do it in a timely fashion. We were just more expensive, and we just had the availability to do it. I turned that straight into my business right now because I have the time. I expanded to where I have more people to cover more areas. We are just more expensive, but people keep hiring us for consistent quality. So there's that.
Yeah. So in the last few years that you've been building your business, you've developed a lot of social media presence as well. So can you tell us a little bit about the various ways that you're out there on the internet engaging people, and how can people follow you on your various platforms?
So I hide in this place called the REP Underground. So there's a Facebook group with, I think it started out with like 12,000 people. It's up to like almost 30,000 people. It was called Real Estate Photography, but it was more geared towards like the older individuals. There wasn't too many memes. There wasn't too much joking. There wasn't too much like faux pas stuff, like if that's the word, like personal protection, like weapons and stuff like that you would need, say, if you're going and protecting yourself and your gear or whatnot out in public. They wouldn't allow us to do all that. They wouldn't allow us to even post a simple funny joke. And I reached out to the admin. I was like, hey man, can I make an off the wall thing and advertise it? They're like, yeah, sure. And so then that was the birth of REP Underground. And we kind of keep it kind of secret.
Okay.
We mention it. It's like a whisper in the wind. Everybody knows, but no one really knows. Like, it's not findable. Like, you can search it, but no one knows what the underground is. But over the past, 3 years since my first time at PFRE, now PMRE, it's grown to almost 1,000 people in there. And it's a lot of industry professionals, including new people. We talk business. We are kind of rough around the edges sometimes, but there's a lot of good information there. And I've been told a lot of people grow their business off of that. And it's just us just chit-chatting and not selling to each other, not like, hey, here, buy my course. But that's basically where I hide. I'll randomly throw a bone to the main group to see what kind of thing I could push. But besides that, my Instagram, it's funny. I used to think that I needed a large following with Instagram, but I don't. I need to have a good conversion rate. And so the group, like my Instagram, produces 75% of my new work.
Really? And
it's all for free. I have not done any ads or any marketing. And so that's how I communicate basically with all my agents. I interact with all my agents that way, including all new agents. I got agents that are like, hey, I've been following you for the past 3 years, and I finally have a house that's amazing for you to do. I'm like, you could have given me a shack and I would have done it. I did my neighbor's shack the other day. But, just having that presence, I'm able to, just interact with everybody. And so it's either Instagram, Facebook, I've been dwindling back away from. I've been really liking Instagram and TikTok. But TikTok, I have 3 channels. One, I yell at traffic, and that has like 40-something thousand followers. Another one, I literally, it's just me like, move. Like, I don't want to yell as much as I do on there. But then my gardening channel, that's my my fun thing to do is just gardening. I went from 4 raised beds to 30 raised beds, so...
You're a man of many interests, aren't you?
I'm trying. It's how I stay level in this industry. And then I have a real estate photography one, but I haven't posted on it in about 3 months. I don't know how to really translate it to how to grow that channel yet. So that's basically where I'm at on the internet. And it's all DomDoesMedia.
That's DomDoesMedia is your main website as well, correct?
Correct.
Now, just to make sure, because I'm still catching up here, you threw a lot of really good things in there, Dominic. So the Rep Underground, so if our listeners would like to join and get some of those amazing tidbits in there, they would just search you on Facebook, correct? And then they just join and you vet them through a couple of questions, I assume.
Correct. I have a handful of good moderators and everything. Actually, like Devin, he's one of the but he's one of the presenters over there at PMRE. He's pretty influential in like even my career, but just everybody could look at his quality and just be like, oh, okay, yeah, I want to learn from him. Like if you ask a stupid question that you could just look on Google real quick, we're either going to delete it or just make fun of you. So I don't want you guys to think that it's a horrible place, but I don't want you to think that we're going to hand feed you information that you can easily find yourself.
Right. I'm a member of the group, Todd, and it's a totally different feel than any of the other groups out there, but there's really good information in REP Underground as well.
Well, that's fantastic. Yeah, it seems like it's maybe the progression of steps. Don't come in there and ask where the shutter button's at. It seems
Some
like
people
you might
do that.
be looking for those questions, which is understandable. But yeah, and everybody starts somewhere. So if you are looking for that, if you are looking to ask that question, the library still exists. I actually learned to take photos. I went to the library. I mean, kind of showing my age here, but I wanted to learn to take photos. I rented a stack of books. But anyways, so Dominic, we can find you on Rep Underground, DomDoesMedia, your Instagram. So you threw out a little bait there, and I want to see if I can take it. But you told us that you built 75% of your real estate clients from your Instagram. Is that correct? Do you mind to elaborate on that a little bit?
Back in the day, I tried to be a vlogger. I tried to be Casey Neistat Jr. up here in Pacific Northwest. Casey Neistat with flannel. I don't know if you guys know him. He's a great vlogger, but I think I haven't really watched him lately. But he was in New York just doing a daily vlog every single day, and I kind of wanted to do that. I thought my life was interesting. No, sometimes it's not. It really isn't. It's me napping. So if I could do a vlog on napping, yes, I would definitely do that. But I learned how to target my hashtags and use proper hashtags and interaction. And I guess you could call it marketing, but I really don't like calling it marketing because it's me. That's who I am. I'm not trying to say, hey, you watch me. But it allowed me to do niche marketing or niche hashtags. And you can't get any more niched down than real estate photographers in Gig Harbor, Tacoma area. Not real estate photographers, real estate agents. So how did I get in front of them? I found their hashtags, found out what hashtags they're using, which means those hashtags are on their feed. And all I did was put a pretty picture. And then I would interact with them on their stories because a lot of them want to be the center of attention. And if you give them attention, And if you hang out with them and congratulate them on all their wins, or if they have a heartache and, be sincere about it, that's the biggest thing, is being sincere with everything that you do, and not just be like, oh, wow, hey, I'm sorry for your loss, but you should hire me for photography. Shut up. Just don't. Just get out of here. I see so many people pushing a narrative of hire me, please, but why? Like, if they needed a photographer, that's a funny thing.
Yeah.
Some people reach out to people who don't even need a photographer because their media is already on point, and they have the audacity. They're like, hey, you should hire me. I'm like, you're brand new. Why would you do that? But at the same time, they may not be happy with their current photographer and may be looking for someone else. So there's a catch-22. But yeah, no, 75% of all my growth has come from Instagram. And I have maybe a sub 2,000 people, 2,000 or so, that are... But I don't care about the whole, growing to 10,000. I care about those 500 who are going to book me for photography. I think I've serviced over 500 agents now. And like I say, 75% of them come from Instagram. So what, 400, 350, 400 people come from Instagram, and it's repeat business. And people see them posting the photos that I took. They're like, hey, who took that? And then they would tag me, or they'll have me already tagged, and then they'll reach out to me. And it's helped my business grow. And I even have an article that I wrote, anytime anyone's like, how do I get new business? I just literally just post my website, and it brings it straight to the article. And they're like, holy crap, I didn't think of that. You mean I got to be a good person and just interact with people? Yes.
Yeah, I think that's so smart. We had, Jordan Powers on a week ago, and he gave some outside the box marketing tips. We had some of our business development specialists here at WOW, and they all just talked. We continue to hit this point of relationships. And Dom, I think if anybody that's listened to this for the last 10 minutes, they know that you are real, and this is the real Dominic. And I think that rings true in 2022. And what a just creative way to do that. So kudos to you and being real and connecting with your group. And that's all it takes, is just that relationship.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I'm unapologetically authentic.
I think
if you like me, you like me.
Right. And I think people value that, yeah, you're being transparent. You're not trying to put on a facade or a mask. You do the best work you can for people, and this is who I am. And authenticity, I think, just goes a long way. So
I think being an open book also really helps. And I actually catch a lot of flack for being an open book because, Craig, like you said, you've seen in the group sometimes, at the end of every month, I post my numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I post what you're able to do in this business. And some people come off and be like, hey, that's bragging. I'm like, no, this is just showing you what a kid with a GED can do. If I'm able to push $300,000 in a half a year, you can do this too.
Right.
So it's all finances and money and everything wasn't there when I grew up. So I didn't understand that part of business, and I didn't understand what could be possible. And if you talk to many people in these groups, no one likes to talk their numbers because either they're really successful, but they don't want to say how they're successful because it's like a shotgun thrown into the wind. Of course, you're going to hit a leaf every once in a while. I'm going to coin that as a phrase. But,
you heard it here first on Spiro.
you heard it here first. But they won't tell you that they have 100 employees that's on average just doing $20,000 a year. Or they'll think that, hey, I can't compete with these numbers of other people's. I feel like a complete failure. But I tell people not to look at the money, how much money I'm making. Look at the percentage of how much you're making in total and how much you're spending and how much it's helping your lifestyle. Money's the biggest thing, is lifestyle. I know someone who could be completely happy going to go check out a book at the library and coming home and sit. But I know many other people who need to go take a vacation every 3 weeks. And so people's lifestyle is going to cost different.
Right.
And what you're happy and what you're content with is different. And so if you're making money and you're affording your family a good life, who's to tell you that you're less successful than I am? because I'm not.
Man, you're hitting some philosophical buttons that I'm passionate about that could go a whole different direction in this episode. But we're gonna have to talk some more, Dominic, because that's really refreshing.
Yeah, definitely.
That's really refreshing to hear that, and I mean that. So all the things that you've been sharing with us are just, we can see your personality come through. We can see your passion for what you do, and you're going to be one of the you're leading one of the what's the word I'm looking for? Workshops. Thank you. A couple of days before the main conference.
Yep.
So can you kind of tease us a little bit? We don't want you to give away everything, obviously, but can you share with us what you're going to be sharing in that workshop a little bit?
So to kind of like push back just a little bit, like in time, 2019, the first PMRE or PFRE was focused big time on architectural photography and pushing away from real estate. But one big thing is that we just kept pushing back at everything and saying, hey, no, there's a lot of us that do a whole bunch of different kind of media. But one thing that I do notice that a lot of people don't do video or don't do drone. They usually subcontract that out. And over the past couple of years, we've kind of noticed that some people don't, especially older generations. I don't want to like sound bad because I'm becoming that older generation, like I'm getting old here. I'm only 37, but this gray right here is really growing on me per se. But I grew up with an Xbox. Gen X before me had Atari, so it was a joystick. But not everybody played a joystick back in the day, right? So drones to me is second nature. But not everybody understands how to fly it, how to use it properly for their media. And so Brandon reached out to us this year, actually. So the 2020, we were all online. Dan Milstein, great guy. Poor guy, he didn't realize he was doing his conference live, and he had to throw something together. It kind of bombed, but it wasn't necessarily his fault. He talked about crashing in a helicopter, which I would definitely be talking about that all the time. But then next year, Brandon reached out and was like, hey, man, can you teach about the drone stuff? And I was like, okay, cool. I can make a video about drones and how it's used in real estate media. I produced a 10 to 15 minute video. It was off the whim. It wasn't necessarily that good. So it was, Dan and I had 2 fun years, right? Back to back. But then this year, Brandon reached out and was like, hey, man, can you bring in Drone Launch Academy, who I'm one of the instructors with, and produce a drone workshop for, say, the entry level into advanced user person. I was like, I think I can. Let me reach out to David, and he's busy launching all his courses all the time. He said yes, and so now we are to future. Now, sorry, I had to fill that all in. We now have a course on Monday, a workshop that will teach you everything you need to know about drones, show you what the drones do, how to operate the drones, show you a little bit on how to launch it and everything and fly it. It's going to be a hands-on event to where we will teach you all these things. Then we will break into groups and stuff like that, show people how to use it properly for a house. I think we are going to do an obstacle course. Ooh. Which is going to be cool. And I think he's handing a free drone out. Sorry, David, if you're not, but we are now. Because if you're taking that, you don't already have a drone. This is for people who want to grow their business by adding in another service so that your agent doesn't go to someone else who provides everything. Past few years, I've picked up so many clients because some people only did photos, and I feel bad for it, but at the same time, you had the opportunity to grow. You just didn't want to get out of your bubble. But this is what I want to do, is help other people add this invoice line to their next invoice and provide the proper media that agents need to market the house and themselves properly. Especially out here in the Pacific Northwest. If I bring it up 400 feet, I can see, on a good day, 3 or 4 volcanoes. I can see a temperate rainforest. I can see the Puget Sound at any moment. I can see that at 100 feet. I just got to get above the trees. I can see so many beautiful things just from the drone, and it helps tell people where this house is. And so that's the biggest thing that we're going to be doing, is teaching people how to do drones so that you can help your business and help your agents.
Exciting, Dominic. That's
Sorry, that was a lot.
That's great. There's so much good info in there. So one thing that I heard you talk about is increasing or adding to an invoice. So we call that at WOW, we call that your ASP, or your average sale price. And that's one thing that we, if you are looking to grow your business, you can grow in the number of shoots, but also you can grow in your average sale price. So if you're already going to drive out to a property, and adding services to that property will increase your invoice amount to that agent, thus bringing more revenue into your company. So, Dominic, is it safe to say that if there's listeners out there that are wanting to grow their company, let's try to grow on your average sale price, that drone is a good service to think about adding if they're not?
Definitely. Well, my first year, I wasn't offering it for the first 2 months, but then after I started adding it, almost 50% of my invoices had drone, and now it's rare if I don't add drone to my photos.
Nice.
Or to a photo package. And so that was a biggest hiccup right now, actually, for me to grow. I needed drone pilots. I could teach my grandma, who's 76 years old. I live with my grandma to help take care of her. I do it because she cooks some really good food. Okay, so that's how I stay chunky. Anyways, but I could teach her how to do real estate photography, because it's very basic guidelines that you got to follow. But I can't get drone pilots. I need Part 107 pilots, and that has been a growth problem, not just for me, but for other real estate photographers that are out there. They can't hire someone because I don't know why people are nervous about taking the drone test. I guess it's just an official test. But yeah, almost every single invoice, including the ones that I don't shoot myself, have either drone and or floor plans. And so those are two little add-ons that are very simple to do, that bring my invoice from a, say, $275 invoice, add drone for another $100, and then add floor plan for another $100. So with those two add-ons, I turn $275 into $475.
Mm-hmm.
As simple as that seems, both of those things, the drone photography and the floor plans, are both items that agents can really use. They're not really gimmicky. One thing that I was going to go start adding, you ever see those day to night transitions on a GIF? Have you ever seen one of those yet? It's completely fake. I hate it. And I was like, I could charge for this. I was like, I seen it first, gave it to my agent. I'm like, I'm never going to do this ever again. This is so gimmicky. What are we going to use this for? Why would we use that? And so, yeah.
And Dominic, we talked about lifestyle. So taking a $275 to a $475 ticket price. If someone's wanting to change their lifestyle out there with real estate photography, would that change their lifestyle?
That's almost doubled your entire, if you stay consistently with your average invoice. Let's just say you do 500 in a year, right? And you're pushing six figures already. My first year was 106,000. I added in 3D. Well, I started with 3D and video. I started with photo, video, drone, and 3D my first year, but not everybody was using it. So 106, and I did about, I think 300 houses. But then afterwards, 2020 happened, and then 3D just skyrocketed. So I went from an average invoice of about 220 to 4 something, because I'm adding in that 3D because of COVID. Lifestyle has changed. I used to live in an apartment. Now I live in it looks like a trailer. I don't know what's up with this house, but they're like, hey, let's put this here. I'm like, this is my humble room, because I grew up in a trailer. So this just reminds me of a trailer. But I was able to afford a house so that I can move my grandma in and take care of her, because her heart's not really doing so well. I could be fine in an apartment for the rest of my life, but my dog needed a yard and my grandma needed a place to live. So it allowed me, just growing my business just a little bit more, allowed for this quality of life. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. What, you guys are out in Ohio, right? How much would you think that would cost over there?
Yeah, we have a range,
right?
Yeah,
this was $500,000 for a very basic house. It's not a mobile home, but all the houses around me are manufactured homes. But the average house price in Gig Harbor is over $800,000.
Average price.
No one who wanted to live here in Gig Harbor wanted to live where I was, so I got a real good deal on this house, even though $500,000 isn't a real good deal. But yes, bringing up my average invoice has allowed me to grow by hiring more people, allowed my lifestyle to go a little bit higher, allowing me to afford a house. And, Kanye West said it the best. Having money isn't everything. Not having it is. And so it sounds funny, but it is so damn true. I used to wake up, rewind just a little bit. 2016, I was damn near homeless, 3 days away from being homeless. I sold all my camera gear. What happened was we did some kind of government shutdown or something to where I didn't get my VA payment and I didn't get my school payment for going to school. And they were going to evict me. And I was all like, this sucks. I have chronic migraines, so I can't really hold a 9 to 5. And my work hours were maybe 20 hours a week, which is funny now because it's more like 100 hours a week, I feel like now. But where was I going with that? Yeah. And so I would wake up every day just feeling sick, just eating rice, breathing air for dinner. What are you having for dinner? Sleep. I'm having sleep for dinner. To be able to turn around and do this. And so,
what a success
if you believe in a higher power or whatnot, I thank them, whoever's looking after me. But it's drive, motivation, and just opportunity. And not everybody has the opportunity to do this. And I don't want to say blessed, but yeah, I'm pretty blessed for this. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, what a story, Dominic. So we're looking to getting to know you a little bit better at PMRE.
It's going to be so much fun. I don't think you guys understand.
So give us a kind of a quick preview. You've been there a couple of years before. So those that are watching and listening right now, if they're coming, what can they expect if this is their first time? So
if you're coming to the workshop, there's going to be a couple days of workshops, which is really cool because it's going to be like an 8-hour day. But then afterwards, you get to socialize with everyone afterwards. But if you're just coming to the main event, most of the time we do a registration the night before at this lounge. Dear God. So 2019, I didn't really know anyone, so I was just standing in the corner like, okay, hi. But then I interacted with some people who actually knew me from some of the Facebook groups. I'm like, okay, cool. And so we were like a posse. I think the best part about this event is socializing with people who isn't necessarily your competition. Like, you're always kind of worried about talking to your local competition about your woes because you would think that they would use that to their advantage. And they've done it to me, and I've literally cut them off, like, for people around me. But down there, you're in a group, you're in an event with like 300-400 people that were all from around the United States, or actually the world,
right,
interacting. And the first year I was there with hanging out with an architectural photographer, a real estate photographer, and I think like a hybrid guy. And then there was me. We were just all talking about like pains and successes and what worked for us, what didn't work for us. That's the biggest part of this event. But then we're also learning from industry specialists on how to grow our business, how to grow our skill and everything like that. It's amazing. I recommend it to everyone, and I bring my people with me. So I pay for their ticket to the thing. They just got to pay for their own hotel. And so I don't want to
awesome.
Yeah. Oh God, it's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited for it. I'm going to be there from like Sunday till Friday to recover.
Good deal.
And Dominic, I know there are still some spots left for your workshop. Your workshop's on Monday.
Correct.
And
yes.
For those of you listening out there, if you would like to attend, it's going to be all things drone. So implementing drone for your real estate business. If you would like to attend, you can find and you can sign up at PMRE Conference.com, and you just have to click on the workshops tab. So there's still some spots open yet, I believe, Dominic. There's still some spots left.
Yeah, correct. For right now.
Yeah,
it's good that you guys are hearing this because I started a new course via Drone Launch Academy, and I'm going to be offering it to them soon. That, hey, this course is about to start. This is actually a good event for you guys to go to. I think we have 16 available slots left. But yeah, no, it's going to be yes.
Great. And if you are listening, you're actually you're further along in time than right now when we're recording. So we launch about 2 weeks out. So if you're still listening, please check it out quick and reserve your spot because there are not many left. Now, Dominic, for those of our listeners that might not be able to make it to Vegas this year, how can they find out more about Drone Launch Academy? Maybe how can they get some of the information? You said there's a new course launching. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about that? Drone Launch Academy.
Drone Launch Academy is an online database with a bunch of classes, information, and everything on how it's focused on drones. That's how I got my Part 107. A lot of people are like, you can do it online. You can do it on YouTube for free. You can go to the library and pick up a book, like how you learned how to do photography. But for me, I found a little discount online back in 2018. I was like, all right, let me try this out. And it was very, very good because it broke it down into chapters, which had a test on each chapter, and it had videos explaining everything along with text and everything to read. So I took my course with them, and dear God, it was great. I pass it off to all my new photographers and everything too that I hire to take. But we've created fast forward a little bit, I became an instructor with them to teach people how to gain clients for free on Instagram for their Drone to 1K course, because that course taught us how to do starting from nothing to making $1,000 a month with a drone. For a lot of people, that's a good little add-on. That's some toy money, I guess you could say. But now we just launched. David reached out. He was like, "Hey man, what do you think about a real estate photography course?" I was like, "Yeah, I think I could teach that. I'm pretty sure I could teach that because I'm teaching my guys now how to do real estate photography." He was like, "Good. Let's set up a meeting in 2 weeks." I'm like, for what? And so this was the beginning of August, and he was like, "All right, well, we're launching it beginning of September." I'm like, "I'm teaching a course?" He's like, "Yes, you are." I was like, "Oh dear God!" So we just launched. 105 people joined this beta group because we're doing a 5-week webinar, which our last one was Friday. Tomorrow will be our week number 2, breaking it down as a beta group to give back information so that when we launch the real course, and I think in November, so because woe to me, I got to fly down to Florida to record the main event, the main course. I actually hate heat, as you can tell. I rather wear hoodies all the time, but yeah. So this new course that I just launched teaches you very basic camera, like what cameras to buy. This goes over what you need in gear wise to start your business. Specific like homework. I'm not going to tell you about the triangle aperture shutter and everything, but I'll teach you where to go get it. And then like this week, I'm going to teach theory about how to photograph a house and why I photograph it a certain way and how I photograph it. Next week is going to be videography. 4th week is going to be editing, which is going to be a little rough for me because I don't edit my photos, but I can get them good enough. But I can edit my videos. I outsource everything. And then the last week is going to be an over-the-shoulder walkthrough. So that's basically what I've been. It's weird. I hate courses, but I feel like this course can actually help people. I hate courses because a lot of it seem disingenuous. Like people are just making the course to make money. I'm making the course to help people grow into what I'm growing into. I think it's priced at $400. That's an invoice. If I can help one person make 2 invoices, I've already doubled their investment into the course. And so, yeah. Yeah. I'm teaching a course now, dear God.
Well, Dominic, thanks for just taking the time with us, and we're looking forward to meeting you at PMRE, and just thanks for your authenticity. We really appreciate that.
I greatly appreciate you guys reaching out to me and me coming on here. I like talking, in case you guys didn't realize.
I think we caught on to that.
But Dominic, if our listeners out there might have a question, what's the best way to get a hold of you? If our listeners
Instagram.
have a question, okay. So again, remind us, find you on Instagram at
DomDoesMedia. Just reach out to me. Sometimes the messages go into my other inbox, so it might take me a couple days to reach back out to you, but I can definitely reach out and help you that way. That's the best way. Don't go to my website and contact me that way. I've been getting a lot of emails that way. I'm like, oh, don't do this. You guys are messing up my SEO. Instagram, please. Thank you.
All right. Sounds good. Todd, do you have any final thoughts?
Oh, just so much great stuff in here, Dominic. Thank you for your time. I think they're the true inspirational story. If you're out there listening, thinking, how can I do this? Or can I quit my day job? Or am I ever going to make this happen? It is out there. There's a lot of great resources out there. And I think it all just starts with changing that perspective in your mind. And it's not, Dominic could have had a poor me perspective, or I didn't get my check, or this didn't happen. But I would just encourage you to stay positive and not to think that. And it is possible. And, with the right mindset and a little bit of creative thinking, keep going out there, find a group, find some mentors, your posse, as Dominic called his, the individuals, come find us, any of us at PMRE. And we'd love to help you along and just hear about your story.
For sure. Well, that's going to wrap things up for this week. Feel free to leave comments in the comments section here on the YouTube channel, or drop us an email at either hello@spiro.media or Craig@spiro.media. And if you've got questions for Dom, again, you can reach him on his Instagram at DomDoesMedia. And Dom, again, thanks so much for taking the time with us. We appreciate you.
Definitely. I appreciate you guys.
All right. Well, coming up, we have another special guest on the next episode. Adam Taylor is going to be talking with us about copyright issues. And we're looking forward to that because we see those questions all the time in the various Facebook groups. So looking forward to some good information on licensing and copyright issues. So stick around. In the meantime, be thankful for the blessings you have and take a breath. Have a great week.
Thank you for joining us for the Spiro Podcast, Managing Your Real Estate Photography and Videography Business. This is a production of Spiro and Wow Video Tours. You can find out more about Spiro's real estate media business management software at our website, spiro.media.